It's just a matter of us going through the process of finding what that solution is. What this does is it primes your brain to start problem solving. It primes your brain to start finding out how can we solve this problem. Every problem is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to learn, to grow, to excel, to exceed, to create something new, to create something beautiful. You have to focus on thinking how things can work, not how they won't work. Your mind can solve the problem if it knows it can be solved, if it knows it can work. But the moment you start saying, nah, it's never going to work, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, your mind shuts down and says, you know what? Hey, if you say it's never going to happen, then guess what? It's never going to happen. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the FCS Prep Podcast, where we're experiencing real change right now. I am your host, Dr. Keith Fairclough, and we are continuing on with the application series of the Don't Give Up series, right? And so, today, we are going to be talking about the final step of not giving up in the final application, and that's to keep trying. I know, again, some people might be like, oh, that's self-explanatory. You just keep trying. But what exactly does that look like in practice, in successful practice? What does that look like? And so we're going to be talking about that today. And one of the things to keep in mind is that most of this does not have a specific order. These steps don't necessarily have a specific order. You can mix and match them and move them around in your situation however you see fit. The only one that comes first above all of them, except the other ones, so I have 7 of them. The only one is, I'm going to start here, is that you have to remember that every problem has a solution. And you have to not just remember that, you have to believe that. That's the first step when it comes to keep trying. You have to understand that every problem has a solution. It's just a matter of us having to find it. It's just a matter of us going through the process of finding what that solution is. But we have to remember, again, that every problem has a solution. I want you to just tell yourself that over and over again. Whenever you encounter something that seems impossible, something that seems so difficult, just tell yourself, okay, every problem has a solution. Every problem has a solution. Every problem has a solution. This problem has a solution. I don't know what it is. Every problem has a solution. What this does is it primes your brain to start problem solving. It primes your brain to start finding out how can we solve this problem. Your brain is so powerful. I'm going to try not to go off on a tangent, but your brain is extremely powerful. You'll be so surprised what happens when you learn to control it and use it, and it can start manifesting things that you wouldn't even believe. But first, you have to recognize that it can do that. And the first step to doing that is recognizing that every problem has a solution. And problems aren't even problems. Problems are opportunities. Get off on this one, but every problem is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to learn, to grow, to excel, to exceed, to create something new, to create something beautiful. Every problem is an opportunity, and every problem has a solution. So please get that deep down in your mind, deep down in your heart, deep down in your spirit, that every problem has a solution. Now, let's get into the other ones, all the other 6 that they can be moved around as needed. First one, you got to try different approaches. Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Did yelling at your spouse work the last time? No. Did it work the time before that? No. Did it work the time before that? No. That's insanity. We have to try different approaches. We got to try something different. Using the spouse example, maybe come to him or her in a sweet tone. Maybe you don't elevate your voice. Maybe you just ask for understanding. Maybe just try something different. You got to try different approaches. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. You got to try different approaches. Whatever comes up in your mind, remember, if you set your mind's going to start thinking of different things. Okay, I'm going to try this. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to try that. Okay, that didn't work. Let's use the marriage example because I don't want you to be vague, all right? So let's say you have a spouse, maybe you 2 aren't getting along, maybe communication is a little rough. Okay, so when I come at them like that, when I use you statements, that shuts them down. So maybe I should try using I statements. Okay, so that worked a little bit, but didn't give me like the that I was looking for. Maybe I should try listening more. Okay, let me try listening more and see what they're saying. Okay, that worked a little bit, but okay. Maybe I need to give them some feedback, like, try different things. Just try different things. You know how many people stop and say, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. I can't. I absolutely hate that phrase. It drives me insane. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. We'll get to that step in a second. But I hate when people say that. I hate what people say. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it because things can work. Because every problem has a solution. And maybe that specific thing won't work, but maybe something will. But don't just discount the whole thing just because you're in a funky mood or you have a bad mindset. So in any case, try different approaches, right? Because your solution is in one of those approaches. Right? Remember, if every problem has a solution, then your solution's got to be one of those approaches. Now, some of the other steps, we're going to talk about how to get to those different approaches. So let's go to the next one, thinking outside the box. Very, very, very important. You got to start learning to think outside the box and be unconventional. And I'm going to tell a quick story, but I'm going to tag the video that tells it in more completeness, right? So there was this time when I had a toilet that was clogged, and this toilet was clogged with a pen, a big pen. Not like this. This is a G2 Pilot. I love G2 Pilots, by the way. They write so smooth. Not a plug for G2 Pilot. I just love G2 Pilots. Any case, I had a pen. It was like a big pen, right? And I flushed it down the toilet. I don't even want to say by accident. I flushed it down the toilet. I guess we could say by accident. And it got stuck and lodged in the line. Basically, I had to think outside the box. I had to get unconventional in order to get that pen out. And I'm not going to spoil the story. Like I said, I'm going to put in a little tag there at the top so you can go and look at it and watch that whole thing. That's one of the videos I have on my channel. It's called Light Your Toilet on Fire. But you got to think outside the box. Very, very important. You can't be conventional. One of the examples of being conventional was Blockbuster and Hollywood Video back in the day. If you're old enough to remember Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video, those were the giants back in the day. You wanted a video, you'd go to one of their stores and be kind, please rewind, all that fun stuff, right? And then they were just conventional. You got to come to our store, and then to come to it, you to rent the videos, and you got to wait till someone brings it back, and da-da-da-da-da. And then here comes Netflix, the unconventional Netflix. Netflix said, nah, bro, we turn this whole game on its head. The whole game. You don't worry about that, man. Hey, you don't even got to go to the store. We will mail it to you. And you don't got to worry about no rewinding nothing, because we're rocking with nothing but DVDs. Because that time they would transition from VHS to DVDs. If you're old enough to remember VHS, I still have some VHS tapes. In any case, Netflix they just started going crazy. They started taking over everything. And before Blockbuster and Hollywood Video knew it, they were done. They were done because the conventional just wasn't working. By the time they tried to adapt and Blockbuster tried to be like Redbox, it was too late because Redbox then took that one over too. It's like, nah, Blockbuster, we got that spot, fam. We got that spot. All right, we already outside all the grocery stores. We're outside all the drugstores. All right, we already got that. You done. Go ahead and sit down somewhere, man. You finished. Like, it was too late. We got to think outside the box because there's a lot of solutions outside of societal norms. Again, I lit my toilet on fire. I want you to think about that. I lit my toilet on fire. There's not a plumber alive that I know that would suggest, you ever try lighting your toilet on fire? I just don't know it. That's unconventional, but it worked. It worked. So you need to start thinking outside the box. Your solution to your problem could be outside the box. The key to achieving your goal could be thinking outside the box. Very, very important. Now, one of the other things, and this is the part I was talking about, people who always say, oh, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Oh, gosh, it's never going to work. Let me tell you all the ways it's not going to work. If you can, please kick that person out of your group, kick that person out of the meeting. I'm not saying you got to get rid of them, throw them away altogether, but just get rid of that negativity for the moment. You have to focus on thinking how things can work, not how they won't work. Your mind can solve the problem if it knows it can be solved, if it knows it can work. But if you think it can't work, it shuts your mind down. The most powerful tool and weapon you have in your arsenal at achieving your goals and overcoming whatever obstacle there is, right? It's your mind. But the moment you start saying, nah, it's never going to work, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, your mind shuts down and says, you know what? Hey, if you say it's never going to happen, then guess what? It's never going to happen. Guys, shut it down. Cut the lights off. Shut it down. We're done. We're done. The neurons, cut it down, cut it off, man. We're finished. Why? Because you told your mind that it won't work. It won't happen. So think of the ways it can be solved. And using that same situation with lighting my toilet on fire, I was thinking of different ways it could be solved. I was like, can I try it? Well, listen, I don't want to spoil it. Y'all got to go and watch that video. You got to go watch it. It's good. There's the toilets out there. It's all out there. It's a good one. But think outside the box and think of how things can work. Never, ever think about how things can't work. That doesn't help anything. Just think about how things can work and you can make anything work because every problem has a solution. Next step, find people to bounce ideas off of. And it can be people that are in your circle. It can be people that are in your sphere of influence that have kind of the same background as you. But it would also be helpful to talk to people who are not in your same field and not in your same area. Why? Because they're bringing different perspectives and thought processes to you that you wouldn't necessarily consider being in your circle, being in your bubble. It's really important to have those people you can bounce ideas off of. Perfect example. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a counselor. I'm a podcaster. I'm a speaker. I'm a school counselor. I'm all that, right? My wife is data, working in colleges, all that stuff like that, right? So we don't have a lot of overlap in our expertise. We don't. She's heavy into data and AI and all that stuff like that, and she's phenomenal at that stuff. I'm heavy into people and love and therapy and the mind, and I'm heavy into that. So there's not a lot of overlap. But what that creates is a great opportunity for us to talk about what we have going on because we see things differently. So when in the morning, when she's getting ready, when we're getting ready, she'll start talking to me about what's going on in her day and start bouncing ideas off of me. And because I'm coming from a different perspective, I'm now able to give her ideas and thoughts or even just ask questions that get her to start thinking outside the box and start thinking about things differently. So I want y'all to find somebody, preferably who's outside of your professional circle or the people who think the same as you. Someone outside that so it can start helping you see things a little bit differently, come at it with a different perspective. Very important. So find somebody or some people to bounce ideas off of. The next thing, take a break. I know. Like, what are you talking about? Take a break. In this process, you're going to get frustrated. In this process, you're going to want to give up. In this process, you want to throw things. In this process, you're going to get sad. In this process, you're going to want to bang things around. Guys, it's okay. It's all part of the process. You're not a bad person. You're nothing like that. It's all part of the process. What I'm telling you is when you get to that point, take a break. Step away. It's okay to take a break. You need a breather. Your mind's working at a max capacity. You're burning all the energy out. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, I'll come back to this later. I'll come back to it another time. When I was doing my dissertation and when I was going through that really difficult time, when I was doing, I think it was revising my chapter 2, really, really difficult. You know what? I maxed myself out. I was trying and trying and trying. I was getting tired and my eyes were heavy and I felt like quitting and all this stuff like that. And you say, you know what? I'm not going to make the deadline. Just take a break, man. Just take a break. Go sleep. Go get a bath, go relax, go get a snack, go eat, go do something. Just take your mind off of this for right now. Because guess what? Your mind needs time to recover as well. It's just like when you work out really, really hard and you need time to recover. Your mind's the same way. It can be going and working really, really, really hard, but it needs time to recover. So take a break, relax, rest, feed yourself, re-energize yourself, step away from it so you can come back and approach it from a new mind and possibly even a new perspective. Because sometimes taking that break allows your mind to start thinking of other ways, not intentionally, but just vicariously start thinking of other ways that things can be done. But just take a break. It's okay. And lastly, look for an example of the goal accomplished and try to follow that template as best as you can. And realize that sometimes just knowing that the goal can be accomplished is enough. And I think about a couple of examples. One from my own life is I was playing, it's a video game example, but still follow me. You might be like, it's not that important. But let's follow me, all right? It still holds true to what I'm talking about, find an example. I used to play this game called Final Fantasy Record Keeper. And in this game, there'd be some really difficult bosses, and you need different strategies in order to beat these bosses. And sometimes they'd be so difficult, so hard, it would just seem impossible to beat them. Right? You would have your whole team throw everything they can at it, and out of their health bar that's like this, you might take off like that much. You're like, what the heck is going on? And so I would go on YouTube and I would find other people who beat this boss or played this boss, and I would see what strategies they use. And I would try to find the strategy that fit closely to what I already had access to, my resources. And sometimes what I would have to do is kind of, change things up a little bit, but I had to do what worked for me. So sometimes finding that example is not about finding that picture perfect example, but sometimes it's about, for one, knowing it's possible, and I'll talk about that in a second. And for two, seeing, what they're using, what someone else is using, how someone else achieved the goal, and then trying to find a way to alter that or tweak it to kind of fit what you're doing and what you have access to. So that's the power of finding an example. But sometimes, like I said before, sometimes you just need to know what's possible. Quick thing, the 4-minute mile. Running a mile in 4 minutes or less, is incredible. It's an incredible feat. It's been done by like 600 people, but before there was a time when people were saying that it wasn't possible. And the scientists were coming along, just like those people I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, who would sit there and try to prove how it's impossible to do a 4-minute mile. The body and the muscles and the tendons and the way the legs move and blah, 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 blah. But I forgot the name of the guy. What's the name? I forgot the guy's name. But you guys can look it up. The guy who broke the first 4-minute mile barrier, right? He didn't believe that nonsense. He did not believe it. He worked really, really hard and learned different things and all that stuff like that. He's not the focus of the story right now. So he went and broke the 4-minute mile. By him breaking the 4-minute mile, he just proved to other people that it is possible. And that's all they needed. And since he broke it, I think like 1,600 people came and broke it as well. And then the other guy broke it, and I think it was like 3 minutes or 45 seconds or something like that. It was like ridiculous. I can't even imagine running a full mile in 3 minutes, like 45 seconds. It's insane. But long story short, these people just need to know that it could be done. So sometimes the example you're looking for isn't a template to finish the task or achieve the goal. It's just, can it happen? Can it be done? And sometimes that's enough. So, guys, it's just been a great one. Listen, I love this series. It's phenomenal, guys. I love it. I hope this has blessed you exceedingly and abundantly. Again, this one is about application of keep trying. I'm going to run through them real quick. Remember, every problem has a solution. You want to try different approaches. You want to think outside the box. You want to think of how things can happen and can work, not how they can't work, right? And then you want to make sure you're bouncing ideas off other people. If you get tired, take a break. Just rest. Take a break. It's okay. It's all right. You can come back fresh and attack that thing with all that same vigor you were taking it with before. And lastly, look for an example. And again, remember, the only one that comes first is remembering that every problem has a solution. Everything else, you can mix it up. If you want to start by look for the example first, go ahead and do that. If you want to start by bouncing ideas off people first, go ahead and do that. I wouldn't recommend taking a break first because you haven't done anything. But all the other things, thinking outside the box, trying different approaches, you can mix all that stuff up as you see fit according to whatever you're trying to accomplish, guys. So this is it, guys. This is the Don't Give Up series, all 6 videos. Guys, you could go watch. If you haven't watched it, this is the first one you're watching, please go back and watch the other ones. Listen, this will definitely bless your life because guess what? Perseverance and not giving up, those are prerequisites for everything and anything we're going to do in life. Everything and anything. And I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you it from the heart. Giving up and quitting is a habit. It's a habit. And the more you do it, the more you build that habit. And then you start quitting on everything. You quit on your job. You quit on your spouse. You quit on your kids. You quit on society. You quit on everything and everything. It just becomes easy to quit. They say people who get divorced once and they get remarried, they're like multiple times more likely to get divorced again. Why? Because it was easy. Maybe the first one was hard, but maybe the second one's not so hard. Maybe the third one's even easier. Then it's easier. Then it's just like, hey, I just keep doing it all the time. Just keep going, until I find the right one. Like, instead of saying, hey, let me stick this out and fight. Let me stick this out and make this work. So guys, don't make a habit of quitting. Make it a habit to not give up. Make it a habit to persevere because you're worth it. And the things you want, the things you're seeking for, your goals, your dreams, your aspiration, you're worth it. They're all worth it. So don't give up. Keep going. And these are the skills that you need in order to do so. If y'all need any help, please reach out to me. We'll get it cracking. We'll get you where you need to be. But again, guys, I love you. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you guys subscribing. I appreciate y'all showing up. Thank you so much. I'm going to continue to make these videos and add value and all that stuff, right? It's only going to get better from here. All right. Again, here, FCS, guys, we're improving the world by improving you. I love y'all. Y'all take care. Have a great, awesome, and blessed day. Bye.